Welcome to the WMCT Magazine. I'm Vanessa Gallant. Here on the magazine, we introduce you to interesting people and places across the Marlborough community. Now, our first story takes place outside of city limits, but if you're a fan of live music or professional sports, then this is a place you should be familiar with. If your guess was the TDGarden, well, then you're right. The TDGarden is home to both the Boston Celtics and the Boston Bruins. Considering one plays on a parquet and the other on ice, it's sometimes hard to believe that both teams play under one roof. We knew we couldn't be the only ones wondering how the Garden transforms, especially when there are two games in one day. So we went behind the scenes to find out. Many of us have been to the TDGarden to enjoy a concert, Celtics, or Bruins game. Each event has such a different look and setup that sometimes it's hard to believe that the 2008 NBA Finals and the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals were both played in this very same building. If changing over the arena sounds like a piece of cake, well, then you're wrong, especially if it's a doubleheader and the puck is scheduled to drop just hours after the sound of the final buzzer.
Look at the clock is running. Right before it hits zero, I better be done.
Today, the crew of 50 people have less time than usual to convert the parquet over to the ice hockey rink.
Basically, what we're doing is we call it a strike, is that you're removing every other piece of equipment that's in the building right now, from the parquet, from extra chairs, extra risers, into just turning it over to ice.
Once the chairs and risers have been removed, the parquet is separated into pieces and then stacked and stored out of sight. Each piece of the parquet weighs about 250 pounds.
The strike is always easier, so it's just moving pieces out instead of pulling pieces in. Think about it as when you're putting the basketball in, there's a lot extra equipment that you're bringing in, and they have to go precisely in a certain order. When you're striking it, you could actually allow yourself to make a mistake, and to take something out of sequence, and you still can get away with it, because it's not precise.
As another time saver, the crew will start installing parts of the rink while the parquet is still being broken down.
At the same time, you will notice they will have crews starting putting up the glass, converting the benches into the players' benches that you normally see on a hockey game.
With less than an hour to go, the mats covering and protecting the ice are removed panel by panel. Once the ice is uncovered and all the equipment is in place, the Zamboni smooths over the ice and the TDGarden is ready for game time. Today, the crew is especially proud of their work, as they have set a new record for fastest changeover, officially beating their previous record of 2 hours and 16 minutes by an impressive 7 minutes and 24 seconds. But if you think the crew is done until tomorrow, well, wrong again.
The doubleheaders are unique. You have them maybe from a half a dozen a year or so. The others is just on a daily basis, you're basically flipping. So anytime you have a show or a game, you are converting to the next game that evening. For example, tonight we'll convert this back again into rock and roll because we have Bob Seger tomorrow. Tomorrow night we will convert right after Bob Seger into a basketball because we have the Celtics game at 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Whether you are visiting the TDGarden to catch a game or a show, you can be sure that the hardworking crew will have the arena ready to go. While the TDGarden is hosting home games for the Boston Bruins, the New England Sports Center right here in Marlborough hosts home games for the Junior Bruins, and that's not all they do. For our next feature, we take a tour of the New England Sports Center and learn about everything they have to offer. The New England Sports Center in Marlborough is one of the country's largest ice rink facilities. It hosts hundreds of hockey games, tournaments, leagues, and figure skating events throughout the year.
Today we have the World Qualifier for precision skating where we have maybe 80 teams coming in from all over the United States. They'll select 2 teams to go to the World Championship. We've hosted the World Junior Championships, St. Louis Blues hockey training camp for the NHL, and we have events at that very high level down to basic skills and learn to skate competitions. All of our youth leagues, we start at say age 4. My grandson plays here, he's 6. I had to get that in. And a lot of grandfathers will play here too.
With so much going on, it's a good thing they have a lot of space to work with.
We have 6 rinks and a small training rink, and each rink is 200 by 85 feet, which is about 17,000 square feet. To kind of put it in perspective, the footprint of the building is about 7 acres, so it's a pretty big building, and add another 550 parking spaces, and it's quite a large facility.
Wes Tuttle has been the center's general manager since it first opened and credits much of its success to its location.
The connection with our community is unique. Back when we opened the facility in 1994 and we were looking for a city or a location, one of the reasons we chose Marlborough was very business friendly. The number of hotel rooms in the city so that they can host the families that stay here and participate in the events quite close to the facility, the number of great local family restaurants and things like that, all of which makes the Marlborough area in the New England Sports Center a travel destination. Last year we did somewhere on or about 3,000 teams and somewhere on or about 40,000 room nights, and it was a great season.
With 6 full-size rinks, it's hard to imagine that there's room for anything else.
To tell you a little bit about what's inside the rink, we have the pro shop full service. We have the restaurant. We're going to be opening a company called New England Seafood Company shortly that'll just do seafood. We have a full service arcade area, and we have about 26,000 square feet of open warm space where the people can sit upstairs, watch their family members play hockey or figure skate or stay warm.
The New England Sports Center has everything athletes and fans need to enjoy, play, learn, or practice for any ice sporting event. For more information, visit their website.
Visit with us. There's a lot of opportunities here for the Marlborough families to take advantage of.
For our final story, we'll take you on another tour. But this time, it's not a sports facility, although the products made at this next location are often found at sporting events. When it comes to finding local craft beer, there are as many New England microbreweries as there are types of beers. Jack's Abbey Brewing is setting themselves apart by doing things a little differently.
The beers are unique because we only brew lagers here, so we have a very traditional German-style approach to fermenting, conditioning, and packaging all our beer.
You have stouts, porters, India pale ales, regular pale ales, that's all in ale. Lagers, traditionally kind of your German style beers are lagers, but we kind of experiment with a lot of different lager styles and some that we kind of just make up. It's a little bit unique and there aren't a lot of people doing it, but that's kind of why we love it.
Based out of Framingham, Massachusetts, Jack's Abbey Brewing is a family business run by Jack, Eric, and Sam Hendler.
The real story is that originally the family had an ice company, so it was a family business in New York. When I had the opportunity to open a brewery, it was really a good fit because I can run the brewery operations, my brother Sam runs the sales end, and then my brother Eric runs the business end.
Jack is my oldest brother, Abby is his wife, so Jack's Abby, that's why we spell Abby without an E. When Jack and Abby got married, Jack brewed all the beer for the wedding. This was years before we opened, and they called it Jack's Abbey Brewing, and that name just stuck as we were going through the whole process.
Jack studied brewing in Chicago and Germany, earning a degree in brewing technology.
There's so much science, there's so much process engineering that goes into brewing that it's important to have a good background to be able to run a brewery properly. You take 4 main ingredients, you're taking barley, or malted barley, water, hops, and yeast, and you're mixing them together. What makes what we do here unique is the process, the control, the equipment that make it happen. So batch to batch, we need to be able to turn over a consistent product that has the highest quality.
Although Jack's Abbey only brews lagers, you may be surprised just how many varieties they come up with.
We have 5 year-round beers, we always have a seasonal, and then we do specialty beers every single month. Our kind of flagship year-round beer is the Hoponius Union IPL. So it's an India Pale Lager. We're using a lot of those big aromatic hops like an IPA, but again, you get that clean, nice lager finish. We do seasonals right now. We have our Lashes Lager. It's a hoppy amber lager, great for the winter. It's full-bodied but has a nice bitterness. to right now we just released Kiwi Rising, which is a beer that we use all New Zealand hops in. Super hoppy, aggressive, aromatic, bitter. It's 8% alcohol. It's a really fun beer. It's exciting. It's different. So that's what we're really trying to do with our specialty beers. Really unique, different brews.
The Hendlers use mostly locally sourced ingredients in their brews.
We have a bunch of different ways that we try and get local ingredients into our beers. The first way, in every batch, we have a portion of the grain we use is grown in the Northeast and malted in Hadley, Massachusetts. In the fall, we get a couple harvest beers out. So we do our wet hop beer where our parents actually grow hops on the family farm. We pick those hops and brew with them in the same day. Most hops that we use year-round are dried and pelletized before we use them. This is using whole hops right off of the vine. We also obviously do that pumpkin beer every fall, which is a big hit. We get pumpkins from Gallant Farms over in Needham, and they help us prep them and puree them and use them right in the kettle.
These brews are available in stores and restaurants throughout Massachusetts, but you can also find them in the Jack's Abbey tasting room.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of the brewery operations is having this tasting room here. So we have it's not big, but it is about 600 square feet. We get a really great crowd in here every weekend. We're open Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 8, and you can try a couple beers. You can grab a pint if you want a little bit more of a specific beer, and you can take home growlers as well as our normal bottles. This is the only place you can get a growler of our beer. And also on Saturdays we do tours. So every Saturday, 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock on the hour, you come by, you don't have to sign up, just come on in, we'll announce there's a tour going out, take you through the whole operation.
For more information, visit the Jack's Abbey Brewing website. That's all we have for this edition of the magazine. For more information on WMCT or any of today's guests, visit WMCT-TV.com. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Thank you for watching the magazine. We'll see you next time.